Live.
Yeah, look at that.
Good afternoon to anyone who is watching it live, and to anyone who watches this in the future.
Hello, everybody.
I am Charles, your friendly neighborhood instigator of literary insanity, the owner and creator of Full Coverage Writers, and the literary director for Fairfield County Writers Group. I'm here with our webmaster extraordinaire, Calvin.
Hello, everyone.
He is the one who has pretty much single-handedly created both of our websites and managed them over the past 5 years or so, and helped me out whenever I made them implode, which has
uh,
been a little too often.
yeah, I do what I can. Helps me stay on my toes.
And we're here this afternoon to just quickly go over a few things of what we have planned for Fairfield County Writers Group and Full Coverage Writers in regards to our website, local events, and whatever else we can kind of think of. And we'll be responding to any comments that are posted on the YouTube page in real time whenever I pay attention to them. I'll try and refresh that regularly.
Same here.
And I'll also get notifications for anyone who posts after this thing is completed, and I'll go back online and respond to them accordingly. But for now, let's jump into things. To start things off with, the current websites, fairfieldcountywritersgroup.com and FCWriters.com, are run by a content management system called Joomla. That's the back-end system that helps coordinate all the things and allows us to post new stuff when we actually create it. But we are actually going to be migrating to something a little more user-friendly, which would be WordPress. Would you, Calvin, would you mind going at least a little bit into detail about what that'll mean for people?
All right. A lot of you who are familiar with WordPress probably know it as a system for just basic blogs and just for writing, just basically for blogging and writing down your thoughts and whatnot. But what a lot of people do not realize that WordPress is a much bigger, more powerful content management system than most people realize. A lot of professional websites are run under WordPress, such as a lot of MSNBC's public news websites. eMusic.com is run under WordPress, just to name a few. So what this means for us and for all users out there is that essentially we're going to switch to WordPress just to make things easier on all of us. For myself and Charles, we're going to be using that so we can push content out for you much quicker, much easier. And for all users out there, it really should not make too much of a difference. And let's see. We're just basically going to try to make a much better user experience for everybody, for us and for you guys as well.
And we're hoping to, by next year, start expanding beyond just Fairfield County and start bringing in other regions. Not necessarily NaNoWriMo based in origin, but other regions in general, depending on the amount of members or participants they could have and the whole area of travel that they could handle. I'm still working on the details of that, but it would effectively mean that Full Coverage Writers would handle Fairfield County Writers Group and then X County Writers Group in the future as well. And WordPress will help us to better scale and adapt to when those new regions come online.
So basically what we're trying to do is, through WordPress, essentially create what will boil down to an entire network of county-based or location-based writers blogs. So you'll have Fairfield County Writers Group, you'll have X County or X Area Writers Group, and all of them will come together as an entire writers network that we're going to conglomerate through WordPress. And through our research, WordPress is going to be the best platform to be able to bring this to you guys.
And when we say just writers, we also are hoping to integrate editors, copywriters, ghostwriters, publishers, if we can start networking with them as well, and effectively have different tiers of searchability for each group. So say you're a writer in one region and you need an editor or a publisher. We're working on it so that you can search how many publishers are part of our network just in our region. And then those contacts will be populated and you'll be able to reach out to them to see what you can do to partner with them. And you could also reach out farther to other regions that are going to be part of our network for an editor or publisher and things like that.
So this will be, for all intents and purposes, a small social network that we're going to be trying to put together. So it'll be a network of blogs and a social network where all the different tiers will be able to communicate with one another. And yeah, I think that covers it.
And we're also looking into how to integrate a more stable IRC chat server so that you'll be able to have regional web chats for online write-ins or just general get-togethers.
Yeah, that's one of the things that we're trying to sort out the finer details about. And any suggestions that anybody might be able to bring to us, we're more than happy to listen and see what you can think of, and we'll do our very best to try to implement it as best we can.
And to provide more regular content for everyone, we're also starting to utilize third-party content aggregators like scoop.it to find articles and interesting bits of information on writing and all that we're now linking towards youth on our Twitter account. And I'm hoping to integrate that into our Facebook page to some degree and also into our future website designs so that you'll be able to see any and all articles and news pieces that we find on how to become a better writer or how to go about the editing process and all of that. And along the same lines, we are also going to be kicking off our podcast within the next month or so, which will be along the same lines as our book that was released called Word Ninja. This will be the Word Ninja podcast, all about tips, tricks, and testimonials for writers to continue in their literary productivity. We're going to have a couple talking points for each episode, and we're hoping to have at least one interview with a writer, editor, or publisher per episode. And I'm currently compiling a backlog of at least a half dozen interviews before the first episode goes live, just so that we're not lacking for content. And for some of you, you may have attended our first ever workshop that we've done for full coverage for a Fairfield County Writers Group. That was a couple weekends ago, and it was managed by Kathy Kane, who was nice enough to speak to us about how to gather new ideas and get your muse inspired. And we're hoping to do at least 2 more workshops this year. I will be covering one of them, and we're hoping to get at least one more speaker on board. We're still finalizing the details on that. And we're hoping to expand on that next year to 5 workshops in 2014, most likely every other month, just to spread things out a little bit. It'll primarily be on making sure we have enough content to make it worth your while, and to make sure that we can confirm meeting spaces that will be able to handle 15 to 30 people at one time. And just some ideas of what we hope to have for the workshops, just beyond the concept creation stage. We're also hoping to do one on the full process of writing a novel or a novel-length piece. We're hoping to do an entire workshop on the editing and revising process, and expanding over to the submission process and publishing and marketing your book once it's finally done. Now, if anyone has any contacts or would be interested in participating in that type of a workshop, feel free to contact me and we can work something out. And as far as Fairfield County Writers Group is concerned, we're also hoping to participate to some degree in Camp NaNoWriMo this year, as well as continue our participation in NaNoWriMo in November. And we're also looking for any other month-long challenges or other writing endeavors that would be able to work within a group-wide atmosphere. If you have any suggestions, again, feel free to contact me about it, and we can do some digging, see if we can integrate it into our monthly write-ins. Now, we come to the trickier part of all the things that we have planned and all that we're hoping to do is going to take a bit more effort than just 2 crazy people can handle at any given time. So to build the new websites and cross over to WordPress, we're looking into getting a dedicated server, whether it's cloud-based or physical. We're still finalizing the details on that, but getting a dedicated server or a VPN will kick up our overhead a little bit beyond what it is currently. So we're going to be looking into some sort of fundraising event, either a fundraising drive as a standalone event or just a Kickstarter or Indiegogo type fundraiser. And we're also looking for coders and designers, because as good as Calvin is, he still has a lot of other websites on his plate and a full-time job.
Yeah, that's right. Along with my full-time job, I also do a lot of freelancing, and so I try my very best to divide my time among everything. But with an endeavor such as this, I'm going to need at least a little bit of help trying to strategize between strategizing, making sure the designs for all the future websites will be up to par, cross-browser compatible, etc. Making sure back-end coding is up to speed, among other things. So if there are any HTML coders, PHP coders, anybody with experience with servers and any back-end dealings, we'd love to hear from you. And if you can volunteer some of your time, it would be very much appreciated.
Yeah, I think as good as Calvin is, it would help to kind of back him up, especially once we start expanding into other regions,
Right.
because they're going to have to have some sort of similarity in style so that Calvin doesn't have to create a unique website for every single group.
Excuse me. Essentially, what we want to try to do is create a basic template for that all the future sites will be able to take from. It'll the front end templates will be, well, the plan anyway is for the front templates to be as editable as possible, just to up to the point where it doesn't interfere with all the WordPress core code and all the plugins that will be implemented at any point when the network starts and in the future.
And alongside with the coding help that would be appreciated, it would be great to have a designer or two that would be able to start working with us as well, because we have a lot of content and materials that we'd like to get out there, but I am an amateur designer, and as good as I like to think I am, we really need some professionals out there to help us create all of our stickers, buttons, magnet designs. We have some poster ideas that we'd like to get out there, and there's a whole host of shiny baubles that we could create, but we need the artists to help us out to bring them to fruition. And beyond just the websites and our region and potential future regions, we're also looking to find new literary directors who would be at the same level as I am now for Fairfield County Writers Group. What that would mean is we're looking for someone who can help run or create a new region for writers. And that would entail organizing write-ins, preferably at least once a month, and trying to network with local event suppliers, whether it's like a library meeting room or a hotel meeting room like we did for our workshop, spaces like that. I've managed to handle things for the past few years, but there's only so much one man can do. And it would be great to have a few more out there to help balance things out and keep things running and growing as we gain more and more members each year. And also for other regions once they are created and start running. So if you'd be interested in learning more about that and what it would require, feel free to contact me. I'm just skimming through the other to-do list notes, but I think those were really the highlights that we wanted to cover today, just to give everyone an idea of what we had in mind for the next year or two, and just what it's going to take and what we'd appreciate help with. And it looks like a lot of people are currently preparing for Easter or just enjoying the beautiful weather we have outside, as we don't really have any live comments streaming in at the moment. So unless, Calvin, you have any other points that you'd like to hit today or anything else you'd like to cover, I think we might just wrap it up a little early.
Sounds good. I think I covered all the basics that I can think of. Basically, anybody who has experience in HTML, CSS, PHP, and even better, anybody with WordPress experience, dealing with the WordPress core, anybody who's dealt with writing plugins, editing, getting like very deep into the WordPress core and the templates and everything, we'd love to hear from you. And
And
also,
anyone with design experience working with websites, so that you can help Calvin create the nicest looking websites we can have.
oh yeah, and anybody with experience with dedicated servers or virtual private servers, love to hear from you too. I'm going to try my best not to implode whatever server that we decide to use.
Yeah, if anyone's going to implode anything, it's going to be me.
So I'm gonna have to be doubly on my toes for our new server, with whatever it's going to be. So anybody that can help out in any way, it'd be much appreciated.
And you can reach me via email at charlesmuir@fcwriters.com.
And you can get in contact with me at thewebmaster@fcwriters.com.
And I check that email obsessively. So if you send me anything, I will see it and respond accordingly.
As will I. I have all my emails tied together, and so getting to me will be as easy as sending an email.
And for anyone who watches this after this has finished broadcasting and feels like commenting or saying anything on the YouTube stream, I still get email notifications on that, so I'll see that pop up on my phone and everything, so I'll respond to those as well. Or you can just, as we've said, send us an email.
We'll be here.
Yep. And with that, I think we'll just wrap it up for the day.
All right.
Thank you for watching this and hopefully helping us out and participating.
We thank you for taking the time to check this out, and we thank you for your continued support.
Yep. And with that, peace out. Fairfield County Writers Group. I'm here with our webmaster extraordinaire, Calvin.
Hello, everyone.
He is the one who has pretty much single-handedly created both of our websites and managed them over the past 5 years or so, and helped me out whenever I made them implode, which has been a little too often.
Yeah, I do what I can. Helps me stay on my toes.
Live.
Yeah, look at that.
Good afternoon to anyone who is watching it live, and to anyone who watches this in the future.
Hello, everybody.
I am Charles, your friendly neighborhood instigator of literary insanity, the owner and creator of Full Coverage Writers, and the literary director for...
Here.
And I'll also get notifications for anyone who posts after this thing is completed, and I'll go back online and respond to them accordingly. But for now, let's jump into things. To start things off with, the current websites, FairfieldCountyWritersGroup.com and FCWriters.com, are run by a content management system called Joomla. That's the back-end system that helps coordinate all the things and allows us to post new stuff when we actually create it. But we are actually going to be migrating to something a little more user-friendly, which would be WordPress. Would you, Calvin, would you mind going at least a little bit into detail about what that'll mean for people?
All right. A lot of you who are familiar...
And we're here this afternoon to just quickly go over a few things of what we have planned for Fairfield County Writers Group and Full Coverage Writers in regards to our website, local events, and whatever else we can kind of think of. And we'll be responding to any comments that are posted on the YouTube page in real time whenever I pay attention to them. I'll try and refresh that regularly.
Same